right, my dear friends. Let me tell you a tale that has been passed down through the ages, a story from the legendary 1001 Nights. It's a tale of two brothers, both mighty kings, whose lives took a dark and unexpected turn. Their names? Shahryar and Shah Zaman. Shahryar, the elder, ruled over a vast and prosperous kingdom. While Shah Zaman reigned in the distant land of Samarkand. Despite the miles between them, the two shared a bond so deep that even time and distance couldn't weaken it. But let's start at the beginning, shall we? One day, Shahryar found himself longing for his younger brother's company. No feast, no treasure, not even the splendor of his golden palace could fill the emptiness in his heart. So he sent a messenger to Samarkand, inviting Shah Zaman to visit him. When Shah Zaman received the message, he was overjoyed. He immediately ordered preparations for the journey, packing gifts and readying a grand caravan. But, as fate would have it, the night before his departure, Shah Zaman decided to bid farewell to his queen. And that's when everything changed.
As he entered her chambers unannounced, what did he see? His beloved wife, his queen, in the arms of one of his servants. Betrayal, the kind that burns deep into your soul. Overcome with rage and heartbreak, Shah Zaman acted on impulse. He killed the servant and then his unfaithful wife. But even after exacting his revenge, his heart remained heavy. With sorrow clouding his thoughts, he set off for Shahryar's palace. Now imagine this scene. Shahryar, standing at the gates of his grand palace, arms wide open, ready to embrace his brother. The joy in his eyes, the warmth in his welcome, it was genuine. But almost immediately, Shahryar noticed something was wrong. Shah Zaman wasn't his usual self. His eyes were downcast, his smiles forced. "Brother," Shahryar asked, "what troubles you? Why do you carry such sorrow in your heart?" At first, Shah Zaman said nothing. How could he? How could he share a betrayal so personal, so raw? But Shahryar was persistent, and eventually Shah Zaman told him everything: the betrayal, the heartbreak, the shame. Shahryar was horrified. He felt his brother's pain as if it were his own. Determined to lift Shah Zaman's spirits, he organized grand feasts, invited musicians and dancers, and even planned thrilling hunting expeditions. Yet nothing seemed to work. Shah Zaman's grief was like a heavy shadow, clinging to him no matter where he went. And then, one day, while Shahryar was away on a hunting trip, Shah Zaman discovered something shocking, something that would shake the foundation of his faith in the world. While walking through the palace gardens, he stumbled upon Shahryar's queen. She was laughing, whispering, and embracing one of the servants. For a moment, Shah Zaman thought his eyes were deceiving him. But no. It was real. The queen of the great Shahryar was betraying him in the very same way Shah Zaman's wife had betrayed him. When Shahryar returned, Shah Zaman told him what he had seen. At first, Shahryar couldn't believe it. His queen, the woman he trusted above all else? Impossible. But Shah Zaman urged him to see for himself. So Shahryar devised a plan. He pretended to leave for another hunting trip, but secretly he returned and hid in the gardens. And there it was, proof of his queen's betrayal. The sight of it broke him. Now, here's where the story takes a darker turn. Overcome with anger and bitterness, Shahryar made a vow, a cruel, unthinkable vow. From that day forward, he would marry a new bride every night and have her executed at dawn. This way, he thought, No woman will ever have the chance to betray me again. The kingdom was thrown into chaos. Fear gripped the hearts of every family. Fathers wept for their daughters. Mothers pleaded for mercy, but Shahryar's heart had turned to stone. But then a light appeared in the darkness. A young woman named Scheherazade. She was the daughter of the king's vizier, a woman of remarkable intelligence and courage. Against her father's wishes, she volunteered to marry Shahryar. She had a plan. On their wedding night, as they sat together in the royal chamber, Scheherazade asked the king for a single favor. "My king," she said, "before dawn comes, may I tell you a story?" Shahryar, intrigued, agreed, and so Scheherazade began to weave a tale. A story so enchanting, so full of mystery and wonder, that Shahryar couldn't help but listen. But just as the story reached its climax, Scheherazade stopped. "If you wish to hear the ending, my king," she said, "you must spare my life until tomorrow." Shahryar, desperate to know what happened next, agreed. And the next night, she began a new story, just as captivating, just as unfinished by dawn. And so it went, night after night, story after story. For 1,001 nights, Scheherazade told her tales, stories of adventure, love, betrayal, and redemption. Through her words, she not only entertained Shahryar, but also softened his heart. By the end of those 1,001 nights, something miraculous had happened. Shahryar had changed. He saw the world differently. He saw Scheherazade differently. He fell in love with her, not just for her beauty, but for her wisdom, her courage, her humanity. And so he abandoned his cruel vow. Shahryar and Scheherazade ruled together, bringing justice and prosperity to the kingdom. And as for those tales Scheherazade told, they became the stories we now know as 1001 Nights. So my friends, that's the tale of Shahryar and Shah Zaman. A story of betrayal, yes, but also of redemption and the transformative power of storytelling. Quite the journey, isn't it?